say what I...
Just to be clear, if you look like me and you're being silent, you're being complicit. If you don't like that, speak up and say something. I said what I said. Just to...
They're bothering the fuck out these bitch ass niggas. Bitch ass nigga. Go ahead and walk them away like the whole ass niggas out here. Don't touch me, nigga. Don't touch me. I can what? Y'all touching me. Y'all touching me. Y'all touching me. Nigga, I'm standing still. You alright, cut your gun. Cut your gun. You better blow that bitch. You better blow that bitch. Nigga, what's up? What's up? Keep clutching. Oh my mama, keep clutching. Keep clutching. Whole ass nigga. I'm walking. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him. If I would walk on public property, bitch ass nigga, I ain't no immigrant. Nigga, I'm black. Say something. Touch me. I want you to. Oh, okay. Y'all got ass. Y'all some hoe ass niggas. We kill shit broad day, face clear. Come here, cuz. Come on, cuz. Come on, cuz. This what y'all do? This what y'all do? Motherfuckers that pay y'all taxes, y'all stupid. Keep working for that weak ass niggas. Man, they already know how I get. Y'all are embarrassing. We finna get y'all plates, post y'all. On God. How y'all coming? Let's get right on plate. Don't touch me! Don't touch me! Why y'all touching me? Look, he touching me! He touching me! Don't touch me! Don't touch me! Ain't nobody touch me! Hey, look! Every step I take, watch they move. Don't look! Watch him move! Yeah, I know I am, nigga. What the fuck you gonna do if I wasn't? Alright then, shut the fuck up! Shut up! Bitch ass nigga, if you ain't had that bathroom out, beat your ass. Take your shit in, nigga. You do that shit. I'm talking. Who? What? Let's turn around. Everybody.
So anytime I make a comment on Facebook on a page on like a post that says like impeach Donald Trump or he's in the Epstein files, I'll comment like, hey, do it now, or like, hey, yes he is. And I'll get so many people that defend him or just like, hey, like I had somebody call me an HIV muppet. Like, there's so many people defending this guy. It's insane. And it's just like anytime I comment, that's all I get is people defending this guy. Like, why are we defending him? He fucking a 13-year-old girl. Why are we defending him?
Did y'all hear that a federal judge in Minneapolis just ruled that ICE funky ass can no longer detain, pepper spray, or gas peaceful protesters? Judge Kate Menendez, she said, covered federal agents are hereby enjoined from retaliating against persons who are engaging in peaceful and unobstructive protest activity, including observing the activities of Operation Metro Surge, arresting or detaining persons who are engaging in peaceful and unobstructive protest activity, including observing the activities of Operation Metro Surge, in retaliation for their protected conduct and absent a showing of probable cause or reasonable suspicion that the person has committed a crime or is obstructing or interfering with the activities of covered federal officers. Using pepper spray or similar non-lethal munitions and crowd dispersal tools against persons who are engaging in peaceful and unobstructed protest activity, including observing the activity of Operation Metro Surge in retaliation for their protected conduct. Stopping or detaining drivers and passengers in vehicles where there is no reasonable articulable suspicion that they are forcibly obstructing or interfering with covered federal agents or otherwise violating the act of safely following covered federal agents at an appropriate distance does not by itself create reasonable suspicion to justify a vehicle stop. Give it up for Judge Menendez, y'all. About time somebody doing their fucking job. Now we just gotta wait and see if these ICE agents are gonna actually follow the judge's orders, because we know they don't follow shit. They think that they're above the fucking law and they don't have to listen to shit. And if these motherfuckers don't listen, the only thing that's gonna happen is the judge can hold them in civil contempt and fine them or order compliance. And at this point, I don't think they give a fuck about none of that shit. And if these motherfuckers violate judge's orders, they better hold bitch May Bovino in contempt. And Nasty Gnome, we already about to impeach her. She on her way out anyways. She about to be a non-motherfucking factor, bitch. So as hopeful as I am that this is gonna change something, I honestly think it's not gonna change a motherfucking thing. Did y'all?
They kidnapped me. They took me. They arrested and detained me for 2 days, and I was put in county jail. ICE came. They came out of their cars. They asked me to see my ID. And while they were asking me to see the ID, that man, he called me the N-word. They pushed me hard. They used a lot of violence. My body still hurts. I got a concussion. It's really hard for me to speak because of that concussion. And I was screaming. I was crying. I was so scared. I've never been arrested in my life. I don't have a criminal record. I have a clean record. I was literal cuffs were put on my legs, cuffs on my hands. And I was actually detained with a Native American woman. And God bless her heart, she went through a lot too. She was also detained by ICE, and she was also a U.S. citizen, and like me. And she had gashes on her face. They shattered her windows. She had blood on her jeans, her corduroy jeans, and she was crying because she was so scared because she was with her dog. She was so scared that her dog got hurt. She was so scared for her life. We were both crying together. We were holding each other tight, and I'll never forget the fear that we both felt in our hearts that day. And
do you feel that? The whole world has basically said that we don't want to do this anymore.
Make you proud, Tran? No habla nada. No habla nada. No le dije tu nombre. No firmas nada.
I can't stop them. I'm a city police officer. They're federally.
New video just in showing Customs and Border Patrol Chief Greg Bovino in a tense confrontation in Minneapolis, unleashing gas on protesters.
Backstory of this is reportedly he and other officers went into a Speedway gas station nearby and were refused service. There was video earlier, we saw images of kind of these officers being escorted out or led out of the gas station. There's a huge crowd around them. It devolved into this, and then here you have the main face, the head of Border Patrol, really getting in there in the thick of it with these protesters. It speaks to how much anger is on the ground here.
New video.
Really hard to get shot by an ICE agent when that ICE agent has a broken collarbone. Really hard for anyone to pick up anything when they have a broken collarbone. Really hard to drive a vehicle or pursue somebody on foot if you use 8 pounds of pressure to knock somebody's kneecap out the back of their leg. Some of you are going to have to get really comfortable with causing pain really quickly, if you want to survive.
I just saw a live that said one of the biggest needs on the ground in Minnesota right now is baby formula. Spread the word if you can, please.
More and more former Ohio State University wrestlers are coming forward to say their former assistant coach, Congressman Jim Jordan, knew student athletes were being sexually abused and are dumbfounded to understand how Jordan can deny it.
That's a lie. He's lying.
Period.
Period. He's a liar.
Tito Vasquez is the latest, a walk-on wrestler in 1989 who took an elbow to the nose. Sent to team doctor Richard Strauss to stop a nosebleed, the doctor fondled his genitals.
There were some wrestlers with Jordan over to my left-hand side, and I said something to the effect that Doc's hands are freezing, and that he examined me thoroughly, extremely thoroughly, my private parts, and everybody was just like, kind of snickering. Jordan said, I have nothing to do with this.
But Jordan heard what you said.
Oh, he heard what I said.
Vasquez, a public school teacher for the past 27 years, is the 6th former Ohio State wrestler to tell CNN they directly told Jim Jordan of the abuse, or Jim Jordan was present when someone was recalling abuse by the team's doctor. 8 more former wrestlers tell CNN the abuse by Dr. Richard Strauss was such a routine topic of conversation that it's inconceivable Jordan did not know. Richard Strauss killed himself in 2005. Last year, an independent investigation concluded while Dr. Strauss worked at OSU over 2 decades, he sexually abused at least 177 male student patients. Jim Jordan called the report a vindication because it did not name him. The report did not name any wrestling coach at Ohio State, did not find documentary evidence coaches were aware of complaints against Strauss, but 22 coaches confirmed to the investigative team that they were aware of rumors and or complaints about Strauss. Former OSU wrestler Dunyasha Yetz says Jordan is one of the coaches who knew because he told him. In January of 1993, Yetz went to see Strauss for a thumb sprain, and the doctor tried to pull down his pants. Yetz says he kicked open the doctor's door to escape. Jordan was right outside next to an ice machine.
He jumped up like, what's going on? I said, Coach, he just tried to give me a physical exam for my thumb injury. Look, it looked like a baseball. It swelled up. And he was like, man, if he ever tried that, I would kill him.
But 2 other wrestlers told CNN they witnessed the encounter.
What Dr. Strauss took from me that day was my dignity,
Last year, former wrestlers Dan Ritchie and Mike Flushy told the Ohio legislature that among athletes and coaches, Strauss's sexual abuse was an open discussion.
I do recall somebody bringing up something to one of the assistant coaches, and his response was simply, well, if you ever tried that with me, I'd snap his neck like a stick of dry balsa wood.
And I remember the exact phrase about, if that happened to me, I'd break his neck.
The coach who talked about breaking Strauss's neck was Jim Jordan, according to both Ritchie and Flushy, who didn't name him in front of the legislature, but have since confirmed it to CNN.
And what they're saying now is just not accurate.
Mike Flushy, Dan Ritchie, you don't remember telling them you'd break the guy's neck if he did that to you? More and more.
In light of all the Sasha Riley revelations, I've come to a really disgusting realization that I'm positive about at this point. You need to know your Presophile was turned on sexually watching January 6th unfold. Full stop. We already know that he just sat there watching TV with a big smile on his face. Like, that's been reported. I'm sure that's the least of what he was doing. His kink is watching human suffering. So you need to know that he's not just enjoying this, what's happening around the nation. I guarantee you, I can't even bring myself to say it, dude. Ask yourself, would I be surprised to learn that Renee Good has been in this dude's mind while he's gotten off? The levels? Oh, dude. The volume? The depravity of that does not have a name. He gets off on human suffering, guys. He wants to start World War III before he disappears into Cheeto dust because it would be the biggest release of his life. He called them beautiful patriots. About Jan 6, right? Said that he loved them, that all he saw was an outpouring of love because his brain doesn't work. He's not a normal thing. He's a monster. He's possibly the worst monster of all time. And to think that that monster has risen to the status of the most powerful office in the world? What in the hell is going on here? We're doomed as a society. Like, we are really truly fallen. You know, I get on here and I see people being vulnerable right now. I see people opening up and talking about things publicly that they never intended to talk about. I'm one of them. I never thought I would get this personal, but we are bearing witness to some of the most heinous and horrific crimes imaginable, and the person who perpetrated them, or needs to prove that he didn't, sits in the White House, is our leader, is out here in the world kicking up dust as hard as he can in every direction, daring anyone to please, please, please give me a reason. Give me an excuse. Give me my October 7th, right? Give me my Reichstag fire. Give me something. Because all he can think of is kicking off those historic, catastrophic nightmares. Dude, I heard somebody say it and I've been sitting with it, and here's the thing. If the stuff that Sasha Riley has been brave enough to share with us is real, I'm here to tell you, Adolf looks down at Donnie. Straight up. When all is said and done, if the truth ever comes out, he will be the new high water mark for horrific monsters. I mean, I think he is. And I think he has intentions of just that. The dude is so twisted, he's so demented, he's so, at this point specifically, he's so far gone that he would love to be remembered as the worst person ever. He would love to supplant Adolf. I guarantee it. Whoo, buddy. I'm ping-ponging around. I must be keyed up. I know I said at one point that people are bearing their souls more now, and I think it's because we need to show these brave survivors that they're not alone and that it's possible to make it through, but also to urge everyone to get very real in this moment, to be very aware of what it really is, because what it really is the end of our American experiment. It just is. It has to be. It has to be. We cannot come out of this and go back to business as usual, because guess what? This will all happen again. So it has to be a full and fundamental ground-up reimagining of this place. And I'm looking forward to that part. The problem is that part's not going to happen without just a whole mess of really bad stuff first. And that just sucks. It really just sucks, man. I wish we could just skip this part and get on to what's next. Has anybody got that remote control that Adam Sandler had that time? Remember that movie where he had that remote control and he turned himself into the Hulk and stuff? That movie's weird, man. But I'd take one of them. Do a little Rip Van Winkle style. Holy crap, I hate it. Anyway, if you wondered what you would have done in World War II, guess what? You're doing it right now.
Entender bien lo que pasó. De un día para acá y sin avisar se me esfumó. Sé que este año estuvo mal, me cuesta mucho aceptar que tú te fuiste tiempo atrás, y es que
It's going down in Minneapolis, child. They're not talking about it, but as a flight attendant, our pilots were supposed to be overnighting in the downtown area or uptown or whatever they call it here or whatever. They made them leave their hotels because it was getting too crazy out there. I hear that they taking engines out of the cars, out of ISIS cars. Like, they getting down in Minneapolis, but they are not publicizing it.
We have extremely serious news right now that I need you to spread everywhere. According to NPR News, a 5-year-old boy in Minnesota was detained by ICE officers. Lawyers say he was used as, quote, bait to lure his family out of their home. This is a story everyone needs to know about. The Columbia Heights Public School District in Minnesota has confirmed that federal agents have detained 4 of its students. One of the students is a 5-year-old boy. He attends a local elementary school in the district. According to reports, a federal agent took this 5-year-old boy out of a still-running car, led him to the door, directed him to knock on the door, asking to be let in order to see if anyone else was home, essentially using the 5-year-old as bait. The 5-year-old boy was with his father at the time. After failing to be able to use him as bait, agents took this 5-year-old boy along with his father and sent them to Texas. His family has an active asylum case, no deportation orders. This is serious. Spread the word. I'll have more updates for you soon.
Federal agents on foot and horseback.
These agents are not identified.
An ICE agent fatally shot 37-year-old Renee Good in Minneapolis.
American citizens were detained while working at this Target store in Minnesota.
Hey, he's bleeding!
What you're doing is kidnapping!
My hand's good. I'm behind my back. Get off! I'm American, bro. Literally based off of skin color.
Everybody in here U.S. citizen?
First ones. We're Native American. We're the first ones.
Horrifying footage of Narciso Barranco, father of Marine veteran Alejandro Barranco.
Lemus was born and raised in New York and was stunned.
Felt like my rights were just like out the window.
When I did say that I was married to somebody in the U.S. Army, the officers laughed and he said, "We're going to send you to a prison."
There's a palpable sense of fear. If they look like an immigrant, then they're suspect. As a society, is this who we are? Is this who we want to be?
War, not a genocide, telling us it isn't what it seems. Man, that's a different kind of greed. Love me now. El recuerdo.
I need you to not look away. What you are about to see is very disturbing. This is a photo of 3 ICE agents. 2 of them are holding down a bystander and the third is spraying pepper spray directly into their eyes. This person was not armed. They were not attacking anyone. There was no justification for this level of force. And the part people need to understand is that last week a federal judge had issued a restraining order in Minnesota, and that order banned federal agents from arresting peaceful protesters and from using pepper spray, tear gas, or crowd control weapons on them. That ban existed because this exact abuse was already happening. Then, just hours before this incident, an appeals court temporarily paused that protection. And almost immediately this happens. This is not law and order. It's not about safety. This is about what happens when accountability is lifted, when restraints are removed. Violence seems to just rush in. It's an excessive use of force, and it is intimidation. This is what unchecked power looks like in real time. And if this can happen to a bystander in public, ask yourself who is next. Please read the caption on what to do to help. We need a lot of people making a lot of phone calls and a lot of emails, because at this point, enough is enough.
Just so y'all can get a glimpse and understanding of how it is in Minnesota right now, just like a temperature check, I went to Minneapolis, to my office. Every block had a neighbor with a whistle posted outside looking at every car passing by. Every block. I was like 30 blocks down. Every block. In front of the schools as well. There was more in front of the schools actually. But every single block had at least 2 people policing and looking at every single car. Okay? So before y'all start talking about, it's a dumpster fire, it's also very coordinated over here. Program real strict.
It's crazy to me how divided we are.
Anyways, I need to get some help for this man, and his story needs to be heard because he is in desperate need of.
What I'm about to show you is this.
Anyways,
It's crazy to me how divided we are on this.
anyways, I need to get some help for this man, and his story needs to be heard because he is in desperate need of medical attention. This man been here for 30 years. He got detained about 7 months ago. This man was victim of an armed robbery, and he was pew-pew from the back. When the trajectory of the bullet exited to the front of his stomach and made a huge hole in his stomach because there was a high-power pew-pew. And he went under surgery, and there was some complications. He developed an infection, and they were not able to close the wound. He got detained, and he's been living under some horrible conditions, not getting the proper care, not even a proper wound care. He's been using garbage bags, and his organs are outside his body. This is why it's really important that either he gets sent back to Mexico where he can get the medical attention that he desperately needs, or any attorney that's willing to take his case. He was a respectable para society. He was a victim of an act of violence, so that qualifies him for a special type of visa. So any lawyers out there, take his case pro bono. Please contact me and I will give you all his information so you can help him. So please guys, share this video, comment, repost, so I can get out of any attorneys that are willing to take his case for pro bono. Please, he doesn't get the attention that he needs. He's gonna go septic and he's gonna in a horrible situation. Okay, please, bye.
What I'm about to show you is disturbing. Video footage captures ICE in Minneapolis arresting a teenage boy at gunpoint in front of his parents, even though he is a U.S. citizen. Look at this.
Just don't! Please, my God, my kids are in the house, you guys, please. My kids, my 2 kids and myself, please. And my son, please. Step out. You guys, please, you guys are scaring my kids. My kids. Bring your kids out with you. Okay. Hold your kids down. I will, please. Let's go. Will you hear my kids? Oh God, you guys don't do this to my kids. My kids! Come on! Oh my God, my kids! My kids, they're so young! Oh my God! You guys, my kids! Go to the left, don't be alone. Come on, come. Oh my God, you guys are oh my God. You guys, nobody needs to stop. Oh my God! Why? My son is a citizen. We're citizens. My son is a citizen. We have paperwork. We have all the paperwork.
You hear the mother screaming they have paperwork as if this is 1930s Germany, but here we are. And by the way, they presented said paperwork. He's a citizen. They ended up returning him after arresting him for no reason with no warrant. What I'm about
I hope you all know when the dust finally settles in Minneapolis, when ICE finally goes away, when it finally happens, and when life returns to semi-normal, and when this is all a distant memory and we're all old and gray, I'm absolutely going to tell all your grandchildren what you did and what you believed during this time.
I just need you to be clear that they have no plans on defunding ICE. And this agency isn't going anywhere anytime soon. I want you to understand that. They have zero plans to disband this group once they get rid of the illegals that are breaking the laws, the violent criminals. And I want you to understand that these aren't going to predominantly Latino neighborhoods. These are going to Atlanta. A whole entire truckload of them, as a matter of fact. They're going to Atlanta. Who lives in Atlanta? Atlanta is the blank Mecca. They didn't put these motherfuckers on the ground for the Latinos or the Haitians or the Asians. You know who they put them on the ground for. Let's stop pretending you don't know. And that's why these are being dropped off in Atlanta. And I'm pretty sure we'll see them in Houston, in Dallas, in Chicago. They'll be anywhere the blacks are. That's where they're gonna go. But don't worry about it. Let's just sit back and chill. Rest. You know, let's just rest.
Carl Landers. Mr. Landers will be followed by Michelle McCary. Mr. Landers.
Carl Marks Landers, out from Florence, Alabama. As a Marine veteran who swore an oath to defend this country from enemies foreign and domestic, I was really contemplating what to come up here and say. I'm not going to beg you to do the right thing. Instead, I'm going to read a quote, a simple quote. Revolutionaries didn't choose armed struggle as the best path. It is the path the oppressors imposed on the people. And so the people only have two choices, to suffer or to fight. That's all. Fascist lives do not matter.
The next Michelle McCarl.
Never bow to a bitch in a toupee. Yelling free speech, but controlling what the news say. The Lorax called, it's time to find a new shade. RuPaul's never seen a beat that bad on Drag Race. Ain't it obvious the person in the office is a racist? Black came in the mail, but he opposes immigration. Someone's Abuelita, not a foreign armed invasion. That would be the masked man reading graduation ceremonies. Unmarked vans snatching people off the street. Broken Amendments 5, 10, and 14 at least. But please tell me again, this is still democracy?
Wasn't he detaining me? Wasn't he detaining me? Call the cops. Call the cops after 9/11. Yeah, call the cops. Yeah, call the cops. 9/11. Record. Keep recording. Wasn't doing anything wrong. I was standing here, and I told the lady she wasn't doing anything wrong. She doesn't have to get off the car. Yeah. No, I don't need to. Who the fuck is? I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. Call the cops. Hector, call the cops. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going. No, that you don't have to move. They're intimidating you. They can't do nothing because you're standing there. I'm waiting for the cops. They're kidnapping me. Call the cops. Hector, you're on Hard Road. You're on Hard Road and what street is this? What street is this? Hard Road and Emerald Parkway. Emerald Parkway. You're not taking me anywhere, man. You're not taking me anywhere. Take me. Take me. Take me. Take me. Come on. Take me. Take me! You're making this hard. Take me! 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 That's why I'm there. Take me! Take me! Take me! You know, because you're doing everything illegal. Why are you kicking me? She's kicking me. Record her. She's kicking me. Why are you kicking me? I'm a U.S. citizen. I know my fucking constitutional rights. Why are you kicking me? Take me. You're taking me, right? Honey, you don't need... Hector, call 911! They are doing injustice. Don't touch me! Did I do anything illegal? No, I did. Do not touch me. Everybody, record. This is where we live in America. We live. Stop fucking off my hood. You're the one touching me. I'm not even touching you. You're the one touching me. You are the one touching me. Don't ever fucking touch me. Did I break the law? Or are you going to arrest me? Am I being detained? I don't need to bring it down a level. We're trying to do our job. We can say, we can scream. I can even tell you, fuck you. You just did. Yep, and fuck you. That's that. You don't have to. And we know our rights. We know our rights. That's the difference. You don't think we don't. We know our rights. Hector, record her. Record her. She's pulling me. She's touching me. She's detaining me unlawfully. Call the cops. And call 911. Call 911. Call the cops. Call the cops. Call the cops. Sir, if you don't shut the fuck up, if you don't shut the fuck up, you're not going to tell me what to do. This is my country. I'm a U.S. citizen. My country. Record them. That's how they're going to leave. Record them and call 911. Call 911, you guys. Please call 911. Call 911. They're detaining me unlawfully. Can't wait. Can't wait for my goodness to come. Can't wait. Call 911, you guys. You won't have to wait long. Call 911. I'm a U.S. citizen. I don't need to. I don't need to calm down. I can sit here and tell you to fuck off how many times I want. Freedom of speech. Freedom of speech. Hector, you're recording. You record. They stopped. I saw them when they stopped unlawfully.
They're in the final stage of coming for our rights now, and we need to be prepared. They're not even pretending anymore. They are saying the quiet part out loud. The Heritage Foundation, aka the authors of Project 2025, also released a manifesto called Saving America by Saving the Family, and it's all about how they plan on taking rights away from women. One of the most chilling concepts laid out in this manifesto is something called opportunity cost. Let me read this quote to you because this actually had me shaking. The opportunity cost. That is, the number and perceived quality of activities or opportunities foregone if one has a family has skyrocketed, especially for women. As the value of one's alternatives, including career success, income potential, or leisure rises, the more one must forego to bear and raise children. This is why there is no simple correlation between income and family size. People do not simply have as many children as they can afford to feed, in part because they must give up more high-value alternatives with each additional child. Let me be extremely clear on what that means. They are openly saying that the reason women don't have enough children is because they have too many other opportunities. Women are currently too free to do things like leisure, hang around, chill out, enjoy life. They are too free to do things like pursue a calling that is not children, pursue a career of any kind. AKA, they're not having enough children for the Christian nationalists and the billionaires of this country. What they're saying here is very clear. They do not plan to make the economy better in any way so that people feel free to have more children, because giving people money isn't going to be enough, because women have too much freedom. Their plan is directly to make sure that women do not have other opportunities besides getting married young and having as many children as their body will allow. In case that isn't clear enough, let me show you the other context in which they use the term opportunity cost. They talked about the perceived opportunity cost of weekly worship, and this is what they said. Blue law repeals have produced quasi-experimental evidence that when secular substitutes become more accessible, attendance and church giving drop, suggesting that a restoration of blue laws could have a restorative effect. I had to look up blue laws. I didn't know what they were. They're laws that prevent things from happening on days of religious worship. So like if everything was closed on Sundays, if everything was closed all weekends, you could literally not go and have fun, and your only choice to get out of the house was to go to church. That's what they want. They want to force us to live how they want. And we have to fight back now. Now is the crucial moment before they pass this legislation, because in some states, this legislation is already moving through the government. So if ever there were a time for action, especially for anyone watching who looks like me, now is that time.
Hey folks, how y'all doing? I want to give you the heads up. ICE is pulling over trucks on 19th and Broadway. ICE is pulling over trucks on 19th and Broadway. So y'all better get ready or take another route. Be careful, stay right. Peace.
I wanted to be his official photo so bad. I finally realized who I've always thought he looked like, because I've always been like, who does he look like? I can't put a finger on it until right now. It's so perfect. Oh, I'm crying. Holy crap. Now and forever, anytime there is an image that needs to be of that dude, this is what I'm gonna see. And I love Goonies more than anyone else has ever loved Goonies. I have answered, what's your favorite movie? Goonies, my entire life. So, don't come at me about Sloth didn't deserve that. Sloth would be just fine with it, and he would agree. Tell me you can't hear him saying, Sloth, smarter than Trump.
And it's hard to be in a...
If we all charge, we can take them. We can take them. All of us. All of us. Revolution!
Hey friends, I want to talk about today, well, everything is still fresh in my mind and while my eyes still hurt from the tear gas. I went out today expecting an average patrol, and I was bringing someone along to give them their experience of what patrol is like and try to give them pointers, tips, and get them access to the channels and the resources that they need to be effective in their own neighborhood. And so great, we go out, we drive for a very short time when we hear an incident up on, so I live in Minneapolis, of course, in Blaisdell and like 28th, something like that. And we get to the scene a few minutes later to find it just escalated into this giant thing with 100+ people surrounding cars and all of that jazz. There's tear gas, there was pepper spray, there was broken, smashed windshields, there was a guy dragged from his car, pepper sprayed in his face, and then was kneeled on in the midst of all of this tear gas for upwards of a minute or more by 6 to plus people until they left, and then I think I saw them run away. And that was like crazy and a lot, and they eventually left after 20 or 30 minutes of this, maybe. And for myself and my, fresh behind the ears co-pilot, who was like, what are we gonna do today? And I'm like, no, we're just gonna drive around all merry. And then all of a sudden yeah, ICE was literally driving the wrong way down one ways, driving down the sidewalk, busting in windshields. They were blocking the streets. They were just so fucking much. I was there. I've got footage. I'm gonna upload those to all the things. But point is, we drove away from there after they left the scene, and they scurried back to their little hidey hole, from whence they came, only to find us like traveling around a little bit, just trying to decompress a little bit. Like, all right, let's just chill out. When we get to another situation where there were honks and whistles and all that stuff just ahead of us, and we were at the Speedway on Hennepin over on around 25th, where there was a show of force, some sort of video. I'm not really sure the entirety behind that. I'm sure I will learn more after I post this, but at the time, my understanding right now is Bovino, little bitch Bovino, was in the area. Well, actually, I saw him. He literally walked right past my car, like within 5 feet, in a convoy of at least 5 or 6 fully decked out, well, not decked out the way that I'm explaining it, but like large SUVs with people inside of it, and there was a mixture of, you know, confusion, anger, hate, and all that stuff happening at that gas station. They eventually peel out after whatever little press thing they were giving. I'm not really sure. There was so many people blocking. I was just there honking my horn, parked off to the side safely. When eventually they left, they didn't make it very far. They made it maybe a few blocks into the wedge, where they proceeded to release multiple canisters of tear gas. There was a green tear gas. There was I think a bluish one. Maybe it was more whitish. Doesn't matter. To disperse the crowd. People were running and all that stuff, and the convoy moves forward a little bit. Then they, you know, I was pointing my car their direction, so that way I had a good clear view with my dash cam, which again, going to send all of that videotape to wherever it needs to go, to legal, to Keith Ellison, whoever, I don't know, I'll figure it out. And from there, we were watching this all unfold as they slowly came forward. Eventually, they were on my spots, on the little block that we were at. They were being held up by people in front or people behind. Unsure of the exactness or the reasoning behind not just getting out. I assume it's all intimidation and scare tactics to just show a force, like they're there with 20, 30 plus agents, little scumbags going out and about, and they are just there with their little guns. They're going like this and looking so little, you know, intimidating. Yeah. They eventually shoot off a flashbang that went off nearby. I think I have footage of that as well. But like, just ridiculous. I still feel it in my eyes. My car wasn't directly gassed in front of it, but I was like within 20 feet of the canister. So like I got it in my vehicle. It just is crazy. I'm glad I was there to observe, but man, that was a lot for someone brand new to observing. And I just want that to be not a cautionary tale of don't do this. I want this to be a thing like the reason why more people didn't get taken and why it didn't get worse was because of how many people were there. We outnumber them. They cannot own this city. I refuse to give up on this, and it's only strengthening my resolve to keep getting out there, driving, videotaping, observing, making sure that they see no peace to operate with pure impunity. There will be someone recording. There will be somebody following their car with a dash cam that is organizing with the community level. So if that is something that you are interested in, search up Defend 612. That is a website, or reach out to me directly. I am tired of this. I am so frustrated that these literal freaking dumb little... I'm just gonna stop myself there, but I think you see the point. Yeah. It's just so stupid. Hey friends.
Today we found out from a DHS whistleblower that they can now enter your home with just an administrative warrant instead of a judicial warrant signed by a judge. Now those two things are very different. An administrative warrant only has to be signed by a government agency, that being the DHS. However, this obviously violates our Fourth Amendment right in the Constitution that requires a search warrant signed by a judge with obvious probable cause. So nonetheless, remind the ICE agents of your Fourth Amendment constitutional right. And if they're still non-compliant, as their policy is now unconstitutional, remind them of your Second Amendment constitutional right. And this is another reminder to please arm yourself. Be ready to protect yourself, your home, and your neighbors if need be. They are clearly not playing by the rules, so please remind them of the consequences.
Good morning. Today's Wednesday, January 21st, 2026. My name's Miss Nicole, Minneapolis mom. Just want to give you guys an update. So today we have a heavy ice presence. Things are getting worse. I was hoping things are getting better, but they're not. I know there was a report this morning that they basically took a father out of the car while he was on the way to take his kids to school, left the kids in the car. Also, they're starting to find multiple people abandoned in parks with fractured skulls that are very injured. ICE is beating these people and just leaving them stranded, probably after finding out they have citizenship and, you know, fuck them, right? There's many women who are not going to the hospitals to have their babies. Women who are in active labor are not going in because ICE is in our hospitals pulling people from the hospital. Yeah, today's not a good day.
Again, because of a personal experience, and again, because of the work I've done, I want to encourage everybody to be mindful that the ICE officers that we are seeing on TV are sent to the areas where they know the TV cameras are going to be. With that in mind, if you're not someone that can assess someone's mental, like genuine mental intelligence, find someone who can. If you're engaging with ICE agents that aren't on TV, and I do not mean that in a mean way at all, I have a sinking feeling that they are using genuinely low-functioning individuals that need assistance. So just, you know, be mindful.
I've seen one too many videos where ICE agents are getting bold and they are saying things to the effect of, "You guys haven't learned your lesson. That's why Renee Nicole Good's dead." Or even things to people like Native Americans where they tell them, "You guys are next." One video like that would have been too many. They know we are filming them. And they know that we're talking about it. And they are still emboldened enough to say these things. January 20th. If you don't want to participate in the sit-in, participate in walking out. January 20th. That's the date. I need this to get shared for real. Because we're doing this. I'm done. I don't want to see this shit no more.
Again, you've heard the firsthand stories about how ICE is acting illegally and unconstitutionally. They are acting unlawfully and in turn are jeopardizing patient care and the health of our patients. This is not making our city safer. It is about harming entire communities, making certain that certain communities feel afraid to go out, to get groceries, to go to school, to go to work, and now are afraid to get medical care. We are here today because we want the rest of the country to know about what is happening inside Minnesota hospitals and inside of our clinics, because it will happen in your state also if it hasn't already. And lastly, we want the world to know that not only will the people of Minnesota stand in solidarity with each other and protect one another, but Minnesota doctors will stand in solidarity and we will protect our patients.
You are the illegals! You are the illegals! You are the illegals! you go back to your home.
I just saw a TikTok of drones over Minneapolis, and you want to know who else on TikTok has shown us drones over where they live? Baisan in Gaza. Because Minnesota is now the first state to be occupied. That is wild. Like, wild. I never in a million years would have thought that Minnesota would be the first place to become occupied, but that's what you guys are occupied now. Like, I don't know. I hope that the protests do something, but I don't think they're gonna. Minnesota is the first state to become occupied. Write that down.
This is in a German newspaper today. This is the cover of Tagesspiegel, one of Germany's top newspapers. And the cover in German says 3 more years with this horrible picture of Trump. But the inside is this, with this photo. And this was all originally in German, but I had it translated into English. In just 1 year of his second presidency, Donald Trump has surpassed the worst fears, and that could only be just the beginning. And then the inside of the article is even more chilling. It talks a lot about what's going on with ICE. And then it says, we have already seen all of this in Germany in 1933. To us, ICE seems like a mixture of SA and Gestapo, and that is very scary. And it's not just Germany. We also have this Danish newspaper. Again, this is the original front cover. And then translated to English, the title says, Russia and China are having their best days. And here's the inside. We have a photo from a demonstration this past weekend with these children holding this sign. And then we have a quote pulled from the article that says, if you take the darkest view, Trump is either acting in Russia's interest or is dangerously confused. Germans, Europeans, they're all screaming because they recognize these warning signs. And they lived with the consequences of ignoring them. If you're still supporting this regime, it's not too late to say enough is enough and be on the right side of history. This isn't
boycott Chipotle. Boycott Chipotle. Do not fucking take your ass to a fucking Chipotle. The cocksucker that owns that company sent $10,000 fucking dollars to Jonathan fucking Ross, the man that murdered Renee Good. Do not fucking eat Chipotle. Fuck Chipotle, fuck Jonathan Ross, fuck ICE, and fuck you especially if you fucking support him, you fucking ignorant cunt.
Put your hands up. No.
What?
I said no.
Why not?
I don't want to.
But I've got a gun.
I don't care.
Seriously, how the fuck are we supposed to handle the shooting of a goddamn innocent soccer mom fleeing in fear for her life by a fascist, small fucking mustache having, red armband wearing, crystal knocked participating in, beer hall push loving, goose stepping, jackboot wearing, son of a bitch lapdog like this motherfucker over here? What are we supposed to do? Well, I am not going to tell you to take radical action, of course. That would be crazy. But how about we see what the U.S. government has had to say about what to do about oppressive regimes in the past? I've got a list. Look at that. Now, disclaimer. This reading list is entirely for educational purposes only. I am not an expert on this subject matter. I am not saying this is the most up-to-date, recent, and best sources to draw from for all information. Merely that these are good launching off points for what you might want to research for your educational purposes. For starters, we got my personal favorite, Simple Sabotage. Stick this one on all my posts. It's a nice, simple, easy read. Just gives you a little thinking about, small steps that have been done by civilians and stuff. You can just search Simple Sabotage. Alternately, you can search UW Pocket Guide, and it'll give you the Unconventional Warfare Pocket Guide. Also, a bit more of a read, but, it's got some good info in it. Now, both of these are U.S. government approved, made, and distributed, so put your cow. We're okay there. Next up, we have Total Resistance. Let's hear for the Swiss, right? They don't like people coming in who they don't like, and they set up really good plans for dealing with it. So they definitely know what they're doing. This one's a bit of a read, like I said, but hey, man, it's worth it. It's worth it. Next up, we have, if you search Marines 1218, you'll get this sucker right here. Now that's a read. That's a read. But it's definitely got some very relevant information that is seen as applicable regardless of era, apparently. So that's pretty good. Then also we have FM 3121. Okay. And with that, also a bit of a read, but once again, sometimes you got to sign up for these sorts of things. They're going to be a bit of a read. You know, education is requires a lot of learning. Now, you might wonder, though, what are the tactics of major powers that are faced with these sorts of things? Because, I mean, you know, if you're going to know about the conduct of these sorts of things, obviously it makes sense to be curious about how they're handled previously. Now, we've got, first off, if you do, let's see, Defeating Guerrilla PDF, you get this right here. And Defeating Guerrilla Warfare, it's got a bunch of stuff about, you know, steps that have been utilized previously by larger states and such to combat guerrilla operations. And then we've got a real long read here, and this is a fun one to search. ST31201-1950. Pull that up, but hey, that search is not going to get you any flags. And bingo, bango, boom. You got yourself a very long read. Now, well, most of these are available on government sites of various sorts. You can always go to Internet Archives or Gutenberg Press, and they will have plenty of options there. There are also, of course, multiple other options for free internet book access, but, you know, those are just the two that I default to. And if you are looking for a more in-depth reading list to build off of that might be just good for a launching off point in more depth, we've got both this right here. I'm not going to say it because, you know, don't want to get flagged. But, you know, disclaimer, I am not trying to talk you into this point of view. It is not my intent. I'm just saying that's a point of view that has spent a lot of time considering how to stand against oppressive power structures and why they're bad. So, you know, probably have a lot of info there. And then there's, of course, the Combined Arms Research Library. They have massive reading lists. Basically, it's a military library, and this is a recommended reading list on the subject of guerrilla warfare. So, pachakatow. Yeah. And last but not least, we always want to include those who don't want to get crazy, right? I mean, like, some people are way more invested in the idea of a non-peaceful or a non-violent peaceful resolution to a problem. And then for those people, we've got both the International Center for Nonviolent Conflict, so you can, you know, hug out the problems. I mean, I do offer videos where there's all sorts of stuff you can use to talk and provide points if you think that your words are going to change the world. So there's this. And then there's the War Resisters League. Both of these, you know, they can tell you historically what's been done for stuff and all that. And give you options, volunteer stuff, all that kind of stuff, you know. Hug a tree, save a whale, fight with your words. All right, but that's pretty much that. Yeah, so deuces, plur. Mario's brother did nothing wrong. Mario's brother is a motherfucking hero. Fuck 47. Fuck the fucker when he was 45 too. Fuck this regime, and just try and do one nice thing for one person today and then do the same tomorrow, and it starts to add up, y'all. All right.
We're gonna come back for your whole family, okay?
No, okay, no problem. Me van amenazando ahora. Me dicen que si yo no salgo van a regresar por mi familia. Y todos.
If you're recording ice in public, remember one word. First Amendment right. Federal courts confirm you can record law enforcement in public. I'm not interfering. State this clearly on camera. Record from a safe distance. Stay back 8+ feet. Standing as a witness. You're observing, not obstructing. Truth. You're there documenting what actually happens. Say this out loud while recording. Under my First Amendment right, I'm documenting law enforcement in public. I'm not interfering. I'm recording at a safe distance, standing as a witness, documenting the truth. As ICE goons continue to terrorize Americans all across the country, it's important to know your rights. Why do this? Because ICE has been violating people's rights, and having your rights clearly stated on camera protects you if you're arrested or detained. You need proof that you knew your rights and you weren't interfering. ICE may lie and claim it's illegal, but federal courts disagree. Know your rights, protect yourself and others. First.
Did you know that we outnumber ICE officers 12,000 to 1? 12,000 to 1. There's only 22,000 bitch-ass ICE officers. We outnumber them. 12,000 for every one of them. All power to the motherfucking people. Let's go. Did you know?
Places in this city that these motherfuckers are. They are at the Junction Boulevard station on the 7 in Jackson Heights. They are in Flushing. They are in Northern Boulevard. They are in the Bronx, specifically Fordham, where I'm from originally. They're in Tremont. They're in Mott Haven. They're in the Soundview area. They are in Union Square, which is, of course, where the protests take place. They're in Mott Haven. They are in Inwood. They are in Dyckman. They are also in Long Island now. They are in Hempstead, Hicksville, Huntington, Westbury, and Levittown. Pack a fucking bag and be ready to fucking move. This is our fucking city. If you motherfuckers are seeing this, this is our New York City. This is the people's fucking city. And you will not win here. Be ready to move. Be ready to go. If you can avoid the 7 train right now, do so. I'm sure there's a presence on the D and the 4 train. If they're by Fordham, I'm sure there's a presence on all of our trains. So be careful, be safe, be ready to fight for yourself and your fellow New Yorker. If you're in some gentrified area, you probably have nothing to worry about, but stand for the rest of us since you came here. ICE out of fucking New York. ICE out of everywhere, but ICE out of New York motherfucking city, because we're not gonna take it. Places in this
ICE, kick down the cage, fuck MAGA hats, stuck in their rage, fuck Trump, clown on the stage, we burning the system, setting the blaze, fuck ICE, they tearing the lives apart, fuck MAGA hate with their cold dead hearts, fuck Trump lies from the very first start.
You're not telling me anything new right now, because I know that this system, this fucking society that we're fucking stuck in, is for fucking evil motherfuckers. And in case you haven't noticed already, but everything is divisive.
So Bibi Netanyahu is going to be on the Board of Peace for Gaza despite having a fucking arrest warrant for war crimes, for the genocide in Gaza. This world is fucking nuts!
Well, America, you broke me. I put out a video yesterday asking if the USA was okay. And because we get the headlines over here, but I wanted to know what it was like for average Americans and to see what it's like on the ground, basically. And in the space of 24 hours, I've had almost 4,000 comments from real people living in America, just sharing a snapshot of their lives and how heartbreaking it is to read. I mean, I was working yesterday, then I went to the gym. When I came back, I started reading them, and I just felt this enormous sadness inside and this inability to actually do anything to help, because I don't think there's anything that anyone can do in any other country, not the average person anyway, for a politician or something like that maybe, but not the average person. And yet what you're going through, or what you seem to be going through reading these comments, is just absolutely terrifying and heartbreaking. And there's a comment, I'll leave a comment up here, I don't know which side it'll be on, but please click on it and just read just the first 5 or 10 comments. And they're all pretty much the same. I've not edited them in any way. I've not deleted any in any way. And people on both sides of the spectrum are more or less saying the same thing. And it's absolutely heartbreaking. And I don't know how you're dealing with it in the United States. I don't know how you're getting through your day-to-day life. And I don't know what we can do. Maybe just me making these videos, because I have such a big platform on TikTok, maybe by making these videos, it will help raise awareness so people know exactly what's going on in the United States. Because like I said, we just get the headlines. We just get snapshots of what's happening. But in your messages, we're getting your real life. So please keep sharing them, because I feel like this is more important than people on social media just screaming about what a politician's done, because every country does that and all politicians are more or less the same. Well, maybe not, but yeah, terrifying and really, really emotional. So if you're on TikTok, click this above and just read some of the comments. And well, America.
Folks, don't throw water balloons at fascists. Water is a precious natural resource in shrinking supply. Now piss is free.
This is somebody who should be here, had every right to be here, was helping to take care of St. Paul's streets, and was illegally detained by ICE purely based on his country of origin. He had every federal authorization to be here.
The worker was taken to the Whipple building in Minneapolis before being transferred to a detention facility in El Paso, Texas.
Any municipal government, certainly the city of St. Paul, we do a criminal background check. We make sure that everybody has all the legal documents that they need to work in the United States and Minnesota. And in our case in Public Works, they also have to have a valid commercial driver's license. And this employee had all of that legal documentation. He had a valid driver's license, commercial driver's license, and he was, a great employee helping to take care of St. Paul's streets.
Adding to the anxiety of the situation, Kershaw says the man has a serious medical condition that requires strict medication and a specific diet. The Immigrant Law Center of Minnesota and Representative Angie Craig are working to ensure he has what he needs to treat his illness, while the Public Works Department is rallying together to raise money for his wife.
Somebody needs to inform ICE that there's this thing that happens, right? Where if you kill all the non-violent people, you're going to run out of those faster than you can kill them, because the rest of the non-violent people are going to look around and say, well, this doesn't seem to be working.
If you think what's happening in Minnesota only affects immigrants, you're missing the bigger picture. Once upon a time, Minneapolis worked hard to heal from what happened with George Floyd. Now here we are, 2026, seeing a repeat of profile, fear, of authority flexing without accountability. History doesn't just repeat itself, it escalates, especially when you're not paying attention. If you...
Mom. Mi amor. Mom. Mom. You're gonna see mommy again? Mom. It's okay. It's okay, puppy.
Wait a minute. Let him up. Let him up. Police. Let him up. Okay. Okay, boy, look. Hey, get up. Let him go. Get your ass up. You good? You got nothing? Okay. That's what they asked. That's all they asked. Watch out. That's all they asked. He's one of us. Okay. I'm one of them. He's one of us. Okay, good. You all right, dude? You all right? He's one of us. How do we know? How we know? I was with him earlier. Why you get ran out earlier? I don't know. He's one of us. I'm with them. Trust me. There's wonderful people on there. He's with us the whole time. You touched us, baby. You all right, man? Hey, move back. Move back. All right? Move back right now. Back up. Back up. Yeah, save your Nazi. Put him in your Nazi van. Go get him some help. He needs a little bit of mental health there. Don't he? Nobody got. Yeah, you gonna look me in the eye when you spray me? You gonna look me in the eye when you spray me? You gonna be just like the mother. Nobody got guns. Don't be scared. You gotta look at me after the call. Turn the gun now. Everybody got cameras. Everybody got cameras. Have that pointing for the back. Yeah, I got it. You don't know what the gun does. That is a direct weapon. Everybody got cameras. You got guns. Get out of here. Get the tag. Get the tag. Get the tag, bitch. Get the tag.
You know he stands like that because of the tent stake that got shoved up his ass. You know that, right? It's also the reason why he's forever shitting himself. Because of the tent stake that got shoved up his ass. You know he...
Do you remember when I told y'all that my neighbor got taken by ICE? So his wife has been sending me recordings of the phone calls between them, and I'm going to post them today. I also have a list of the names and numbers of the people that he has been in detention with who are also involved in some of these situations. I'm going to put it in an overlay right here so you guys can see it. Screenshot, share. I have a couple days worth of phone calls to post, but the latest news from my friend is that where he's been for over 24 hours and they haven't fed him, and that the living conditions are completely inhumane. So stay tuned for those posted combos.
There are a couple things you should know before deciding that violence against armed, I guess, individuals is okay for you. First things first, a Molotov cocktail does not burn away fingerprints. You have to wipe them off first. Second thing second, there's cameras everywhere. You should double check to see if they're actually in the location, and guerrilla tactics do work better when you do know your surroundings. Pitched battles are awful, but cowards are cowards. They like to run.
You're a Trump supporter, yes or no?
Yes, I am.
Can you say what you just said again?
I said, I don't care if there's 100 14-year-old girls that come forward, not only implicate him, but is proven in a court of law. Let him be the president for all of us. Don't we want him to succeed?
Well, except for the 14-year-old girls who were trafficked. You're saying ignore their stories.
There are
because
bigger
it may
issues in the world.
Then telling the stories of children who were trafficked and giving them their justice?
A new set of leaked ICE documents revealed there's a whole lot more going on behind the scenes that basically confirm they are a techno-fascist Gestapo. And most of it is being released for the first time right now. A 15-page government file marked Law Enforcement Sensitive lists 21 major ICE operations with code names like Benchwarmer, Tidal Wave, and Abracadabra. They were given to investigative journalist Ken Klippenstein. According to the document, these aren't tiny task forces. Together, they've led to 6,800 apprehensions since June. What makes these programs notable isn't just the numbers. Some involve interviewing every person taken into custody to pull intelligence on other people or networks. Project Benchwarmer apparently deployed thousands of intelligence assets across the country, including agents in plain clothes, gathering information outside typical interview settings, basically going undercover. The source of the leak was described as a Border Patrol official who was upset about how secretive and expansive these efforts have become. In internal slides, the operations are being pitched as filling gaps in what ICE calls its national security mission, with a focus on linking individuals to criminal or extremist activities. What could go wrong? Also, internal materials and testimony obtained by 404 Media reveal that ICE is using a Palantir-built software tool called Elite, or Enhanced Leads Identification and Targeting for Enforcement. That populates a digital map with potential deportation targets, including individual dossiers, and a confidence score on addresses and user data, and uses data from government sources like Department of Human and Health Services to identify neighborhoods with high concentrations of people ICE might detain, basically minority neighborhoods. What's still unclear is how much Congress or the public knew about all this beforehand, and whether these programs will change how ICE is funded or regulated going forward. The more I hear about what goes on behind closed doors, the more confident I am that citizens like me and you are next, because a new set
You've been taught the last time Americans took up arms against their own government was in 1861. They lied. In 1946, World War II veterans returned home to Athens, Tennessee, only to find a corrupt political machine that was running their county like a dictatorship. The sheriff deputies were shaking veterans down, fixing every election and beating anyone who dared to speak up about it. When the GIs decided to fight back by making their own ticket for office, the machine did what it always does. It seized all the ballot boxes and barricaded themselves inside of the jail. They thought they had won. they forgot they were dealing with men who just survived the front lines of Europe. Those men didn't call a lawyer. They broke into the local National Guard armory, and armed with rifles and dynamite, they laid siege to the jail. For 6 hours, the streets of Athens were a war zone. Was a war zone. Only after those GIs literally blew the doors off of the building did the machine finally surrender. Then they counted the votes themselves, and they took control of the government from that point. That's been the only successful American uprising against their own government in our modern history. It's the only successful one but like the text, they don't want you to know about it.
I just wanted to check in with everybody really quickly. I just returned from being detained by ICE for like 8 hours. I'm gonna tell more of this story. I just have to actually think it through right now. I was with a friend and we were boxed in by 2 different ICE vehicles, and they ran into the back of my car and then claimed that I hit their car. So they came and broke my windows and pulled us out of the car and proceeded to tell us that we were being detained because we had assaulted a federal agent. There's a lot more. I just got back to my house. I want to shout out Safe Haven, MN. They were at the Whipple building where you are held in detention, because when they let you go, they just put you out in the cold. They don't fucking care. And I'm so grateful they were there. They grabbed us, they put us in a van, they gave us a burner phone because they took the phones. When we were being detained, I threw my phone to a stranger on the side of the road. I yelled my address, and I say this a lot, build community, because they didn't give us a phone call, they didn't let us do anything, but our community realized when we didn't show up for something that something was wrong. And then there were videos, and so there's going to be more information, but this is all I can do for right this second.
I need to hear this, because something wild is happening across the country right now, and it's being heavily censored. People aren't calling it what it really is, but they found a way around it. If you go on TikTok and type 24-hour music festival, you'll start seeing what I'm talking about. These so-called music festivals are popping up in cities everywhere, LA, Portland, and a bunch of other places. Some people say they've even been happening outside ICE detention centers. In LA, it's been going nonstop for over a week. But here's the thing, this isn't about music. This is something bigger, and the media is completely ignoring it. Once you start watching a few of those clips, your entire feed will change. You'll start seeing what's really going on, and it's crazy how quiet everything's been. Like, while everyone's distracted with Coachella or Lollapalooza, this stuff is happening under our noses, and no one's talking about it. So seriously, go to your search bar, type 24-hour music festival, and see it for yourself. Because if you don't look, you're gonna miss what's really happening right now. I'll need to hear this.
It's not the level.
Something that we really haven't explored yet. The man on your screen right now, his name is Steve, and he published a bombshell video just the other day saying
it's not the left versus the right, it's what is wrong and what is right. We've gotta stand up and fight for our children. The world is paying to be blind, feeding into all the lies. We've gotta open up our eyes and save our children. Save our children. People in power have the means to cover up their crimes. They tell us what we wanna hear to take over our minds. 800,000 children. It's not the left versus the right, it's what is wrong and what is right. We've gotta stand up and
Something that we really haven't explored yet. The man on your screen right now, his name is Steve, and he published a bombshell video just the other day saying how he used to be a judge for the beauty pageants Donald Trump used to run, Miss USA, Miss Teen USA, and he says the media is missing the mark. We are missing the mark. People need to look at these beauty pageants deeper for potential crimes that Donald Trump might have committed himself, might have committed with Epstein, and he's blowing the whistle, essentially. So we're going to look at this video and hear what he has to say, but I also did a deep dive in preparation for this to see more about Donald Trump's beauty pageant history, and it gets worse. We're going to talk about all of it in just a moment. Before I do any of that, make sure to subscribe down below, drop a like on the video, comment, let me know what you think about this story, and let's hear from Steve. Let's hear what he has to say. I think this is pretty damning. Have a look.
When it comes to Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein, the media is missing the smoking gun. Now, I've sat on this information for years, and I really didn't want to get into this because this is not in my job description, and it's very dangerous to come out with this publicly. The smoking gun is Miss USA and Miss Teen USA, the pageants which Donald Trump owned for years. Now, how do I know? Because I was one of the judges in these pageants. I trained dozens and dozens of the winners and the runners-up in public speaking to promote their platform. This is all I'm going to say about this. If you're in the media and you're looking for information, start with Billy Bush. Billy Bush hosted the Miss USA, Miss Teen USA multiple times. Nancy O'Dell is another one. And then go down the rabbit hole from there. There are people that know a lot more than those two, but start there. They're celebrities, and start there, go down the rabbit hole. And I think what you're going to find is going to be very, very upsetting. Don't call me. I'm not going to comment. I'm not going on TV and talking about this. This is very dangerous to sit on. If you decide to pursue this in the media, be very, very careful. These people are dangerous.
Wow. I wish he would speak more about it. He is hesitant. He seems pretty nervous. And only a few publications in research for this video have covered this story, have covered this video. But some explosive things here. And I was wondering in my mind, who are the people he mentioned? And in my research, I realized, remember this quote where Donald Trump was saying, I moved on her, I failed, I did try and blank her, she was married, I moved on her very heavily. This is that explosive tape that came out in 2016 of Donald Trump speaking in 2005 about a married woman. She wanted to get some furniture. I said, I'll show you where they have some nice furniture. I took her out. I moved on her but I couldn't get there. And she was married. Then all of a sudden I see her and now she's got these big, you've heard the quote before, but the most infamous one in it says, you can do anything. You can grab them by the blank. You can do anything. So Trump admitting to assault. And that quote that Donald Trump said that to was to Billy Bush, the man who Steve just talked about. That was said to Billy Bush. That's first and foremost. And it was also said about Nancy O'Dell. So these two people that he mentioned, that he's saying the media should look into more, are the two people involved in that Hollywood Access tape where Trump is saying awful things about women, talking disgustingly with Billy Bush. And so I think both of them, who do have some connections to Donald Trump and these beauty pageants, maybe somebody should reach out to them and see what they have to say about this and what they have to say about Trump and the pageants. But as I mentioned, I did a deeper dive, and I remember this story that we covered on the show over the summer. And it's Donald Trump in 1991, when he was in the prime of being best friends with Epstein, judging a beauty pageant that had participants as young as 14 years old. So we're talking about beauty pageants, the ones that Donald Trump participated in, judge, hosted, being the smoking gun. Well, there's some evidence to back that up. Whether Steve is being honest and telling the truth about his experiences, which I, for so far, don't have any reason to doubt, but let's just say he is, the evidence is still overwhelming for there being some concerning things that Donald Trump did. This is from Midas Touch. They covered it over the summer. The date was July 18th. It just came to my mind in research for this video. Donald Trump judges the 1991 Look of the Year modeling competition organized by Elite Model Management. Remember that name. Featuring participants as young as 14 years old. A 2020 Guardian investigation into Elite's Look of the Year competition uncovered allegations from former contestants and industry insiders that the competition was used by founder John Casablancas and others to engage in inappropriate relationships with vulnerable young models, some of whom were teenagers. And again, the competition had people as young as 14 years old. And this is a video from that competition I'm going to play very briefly for you so you can see Trump actually judging it. Just watch.
Contestants participated in
there he is. I don't have to play it more. There's Donald Trump.
Exhaustive round of personal interviews designed to help our judges discover what makes each one.
And there he is right there.
You're 5'9" reading? Serious, huh?
We made measure again tonight before the game.
Okay.
And there he is right there. You can see him, his dumb head. There he is. That's Donald Trump judging these competitions.
Concentration was intense.
And there he is again, having conversations. So this is Donald Trump judging these competitions. It gets much worse because Elite is not a good organization, was not a good organization. Here's some more info regarding the alleged conduct of Elite's boss, Gerald Marie, that occurred during this 1991 Look of the Year event that Donald Trump was at. This is from the Guardian investigation. In 1991, the couple were among the celebrity guests at the final Look of the Year Elite's annual international modeling contest in New York. Evangelista wore her hair in a striking red bob with a heavy fringe and towered over Marie, that's Gerald Marie, the boss of Elite, who wore a black suit and tie, his hair slicked back. Evangelista joined Naomi Campbell to present a prize, while Marie sat with fellow judges Casablancas and Donald Trump. And there are some incredibly serious allegations against Elite. Not only have 5 women, according to The Guardian, come forward to say that they were assaulted by other men who worked with or for Marie. Some of them were as young as 15 years old. And Marie has had his own allegations against him. This is somebody that Donald Trump was associating with judging the competitions. And you can pause right here to read more if you'd like. But I mean, for example, Swedish model Ebba Karlsson, who was 20 in 1990, alleges that she was assaulted that year by a different Elite scout, and that days later, she was introduced to Marie, this guy that Donald Trump was associated with, again, the boss of Elite. Trump is seen speaking here in the footage from the 1990, there he is, from the 1991 Look of the Year, quote, "A Look of the Year contest is the ultimate contest for women who want to go all the way in the modeling business." Again, he's talking about people as young, girls as young as 14. The person all the way to the right in this infamous photo of Donald Trump and Epstein is John Casablancas, the founder of Elite Model Management, who organized the competition. There he is, hanging out with Trump and Epstein. Really weird stuff going on here. Despite the long day behind them and the work that lay ahead, the girls just didn't want to quit, says Donald Trump. And of course, the Guardian investigation is a must-read. Elite Model's boss, Gerald Marie, was one of the most powerful men in fashion. Was he also a predator? As French prosecutors investigate, 4 women tell their stories for the first time. And there's Donald Trump in the photo. More images from the event where you can see very, very young people. Very, very young people. And these were the people that Donald Trump was judging. So point is, and by the way, there's so much more than what we're covering right now. There are so many different clips of Donald Trump talking about walking in on young women. He did it on the Howard Stern show. I have a clip here. It's long, but I'm sure you've all heard the clip of Donald Trump speaking about it. Let's see if I can find it really here. Let's just play it right here.
I would create a TV show for you where all you did was just judge women.
Now, that may be the best idea of all.
It's a simple thing. It's a half hour, and we strip it out all over the country.
I would say I'm the all-time judge.
You own this pageant. You go over. You're meeting the girls. And one of them comes up to you and says, "Mr. Trump, you're a very sexy man.
You're a beautiful man. You have fantastic hair.
Well, you're a powerful man, right? You're a powerful man.
Right.
I want to sleep with you." Now, you're not the type that would say no.
I don't want to hurt their feelings.
Right. No, but I mean, you see a beautiful woman. You want to have that. You're a guy who likes to have everything, right?
Well, couldn't that be construed, however, as
Conflict?
yes?
I don't see it as a conflict.
It could be a conflict of interest, but it's the kind of thing you worry about later.
Oh, I see.
And it gets worse. Oh my God, it gets worse. So it could be the smoking gun. Point is, I think there's a lot of evidence here. It's something that maybe we should be looking into. I'll continue to look into this, but the existing evidence to suggest something, not proven. We don't know for sure, not 100%, but the evidence to suggest that something is there, I think is pretty compelling. So look, I will leave the video there. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to something that we really.
A U.S. Navy SEAL is amongst the most highly trained military operators. A war machine. Mentally, physically, you fucking name it. And yesterday, this husband and wife came on TikTok and she was making the video. She said, my husband has to say something to you. And she turned the camera towards him and he said, I am a Navy SEAL, a U.S. Navy SEAL, which should tell you there already that he is so fucking trained, so mentally fucking strong. And he's breaking down crying, saying, what I'm watching on the streets is not ICE, it's ISIS. He goes, they are exactly like ISIS. They move like ISIS. They act like ISIS. They're dressed like ISIS. They terrorize people like ISIS. They can shoot you dead in your face and not get any consequences. They can unalive people. They can murder. They can rape. They can do anything they fucking want, and there's no consequences for them. He said, this isn't ICE. This is ISIS. And I fought these motherfuckers over this, in overseas. And if a U.S. Navy SEAL is telling us this, it's fucking terrifying. Terrifying that there is no rules, no laws. We can't protect ourselves. The book tells us they can't pull us out of the car, but they're breaking windows, terrorizing children, showing up at schools, at hospitals, in churches, parking lots. This is ISIS. It's not fucking ICE.
Okay, Minneapolis and St. Paul, this one is for you. We know that ICE agents are going door to door. We know they are getting more aggressive. What are we going to do? We're not going to make it easy for them. We're going to home alone their ass. Tonight, the temperatures will go below freezing for the first time in a few days. Ice the shit out of your sidewalk, out of your front steps, anything that leads to your doors. Layers and layers of water freezing into ice so that they cannot fucking get up those steps. Grease the railings, grease the doorknob. Kevin McAllister their ass. Let's fight ICE with ICE. Okay.
I know that I'm not alone when I say this, but being an immigrant in this country right now, being Latino, being Hispanic, is just paralyzing. I find myself staring at the wall, just not able to do anything. Thinking in my mind, I know I need to do things, but I just can't. My body doesn't respond. I know I'm not the only one. Where getting through the simplest tasks feels like climbing fucking Mount Everest. Because at this point, bro, if you don't fucking care about what's going on around you, fuck all the way off. Fuck all the fucking way off at this point. The feeling that we carry around with us on a daily basis, on a second to second, hour to hour, minute to minute basis is indescribable. It's paralyzing to be a Latino, a Hispanic person, an immigrant. And by the way, we all have been screaming this, but let me just say it again. It's not just us. It's you too. It's you too. And until you fucking realize that, your life is gonna be on the line too. Congratulations, join the fucking club. It is so hard to be expected to go to work, to maintain a happy smile, to do what you need to do to get through the day, to fucking have happiness, to go out and plan stuff with your friends and actually enjoy it, to communicate with your family, to just cook a fucking meal. It's paralyzing to feel what we feel on a day-to-day basis, bro. Right now, I feel crazy, even though I know I'm not. I have gone through 3 different fucking ICE raids in my life. From the moment that I was 10 years old to again when I was about 22 until now. This is the 3rd time in my life that I'm going through some shit like this. So it's not new to me, but damn, is this fucking different. This is literally the most violence, the most in-your-face racism, white supremacy that we have seen in a while in this country. But it has always existed. The reason it's showing its face now is because no one fucking cared to say anything about it before. But we have been screaming it from the fucking hilltops for how fucking long? And you just now decided to wake the fuck up? Like, it's crazy to me how people can continue to live their lives normally and not give a fuck. I will never be a person that's like that. I will never be a person who just focuses on myself and never about my fucking neighbor. I just wanted to share this video because I feel like I'm fucking going crazy. And I know that I'm not the fucking only one either. I know that I'm...
Hey everyone, I just called my representatives. I left voicemails, I sent 2 emails, and filed 2 complaints. I encourage you to do the same. Every call, every text, every submission matters. Humanity, let's do the right thing.
حسبي الله ونعم الوكيل فيهم يا الله رد علي ابو الجبل
Why isn't the Sasha Riley story like the biggest news item besides the ICE raids right now? Why isn't it being talked about like on every news network? I know it's not 100% verified, but there's so many true details in it that at least it should be discussed on these channels, right? Like, I'm trying to explain to my mom what this story is. And she's like, why isn't MSNBC talking about it then? And I'm like, I don't fucking know. Why? They should be. They should talk about it all the time. If it's true, it's the craziest fucking story ever. I would like to know why these channels aren't covering it yet. I would really like to know. Anyways, that's my thoughts.
A 5-year-old was detained by ICE yesterday. This is according to Columbia Heights school officials, a suburb of Minneapolis. His name is Liam Ramos. We have his school picture to show you here. And officials from his school, the superintendent, says that he was taken by ICE with his father while in their driveway after just arriving home from his preschool classroom on Tuesday. This photo shows Liam in that blue hat with what appears to be a federal agent. Officials also say they feel he was used as bait, saying that ICE agents had him knock on the door of his home to see if anyone else was inside. And this is just one of 4 detainments of Columbia Heights students since this operation began. They say 2 17-year-olds have also been detained, one on their way to school Tuesday, and that a 10-year-old, a 4th grader, was taken by ICE agents 2 weeks ago on her way to elementary school with her mother. During the arrest, the child called her father on the phone to tell her that ICE agents were bringing her to school. And then when the father came to school, he found out that both of his daughter and his wife had been taken. As far as the details of Liam's case, they say that they believe that Liam and his father are being held in a detention center in Texas, and they say that the family was following U.S. legal parameters and that they have an active asylum case with no order of deportation. As of Wednesday night here, no response from ICE on this, but just 4 examples of students under 18 who their school officials say have been detained by ICE during the immigration operations here in Minnesota.
This is who ICE detained today. A real hardened criminal, hasn't even made it out of elementary school. He's a baby with a little Spider-Man backpack and his little blue cute hat. And seeing this fucking hand on his backpack gives me a rage that I cannot put into words. Yes, I wouldn't expect anything less from an enforcement agency led by a puppy killer. We've been hearing about the SA that's been going on by these agents. And to think that a child this small can be there, I am out of my mind as it is. And then seeing this baby there, his face, like seeing him so scared. He's with people he doesn't know, with men that all of us adults know are dangerous. You don't think this poor baby knows that? These kids are even more intuitive than we could ever dream to be at this age. I will not support any single candidate, any single person that thinks that this shit can be reformed, continue to be funded. I refuse. I fucking refuse. This is who.
When you find out your church's pastor is part of ICE, so you show up on Sunday to call him out and run him out of the place, that's Jesus energy. That's flip the table and whip the tax collectors. That's Christ-like right there. Most Christian shit I've seen all day.
They're coming in our neighborhoods, going door to door, and they're shooting, and they're killing us. What part don't anybody understand? It don't matter if you're black, white, Hispanic, Hmong, Somali, they're killing us. I should not be in our neighborhood. It should not be in our community. ICE need to be dismantled. Literally. Y'all still hearing shots going on. Just the north side, just the heart of the community.
Five days ago, a judge ruled that ICE could not pull over drivers simply for following their vehicles if they were not otherwise breaking any traffic laws, and that ICE could not detain or tear gas peaceful protesters if they were not directly interfering with one of their activities. Tonight, a federal judge overturned that ruling, and ICE is allowed to continue with those practices. Also today, a whistleblower leaked a memo from the Department of Homeland Security instructing new recruits to violate the Fourth Amendment and enter homes without a judicial warrant. 5 days.
One thing for certain, two things for sure, I ain't getting killed by no damn ICE agent. Maybe a motherfucking cop. And if it gotta be a cop, it gonna be a Georgia trooper. It gonna be that motherfucker that get my ass if catch me slipping. But a damn ICE agent, bitch, nigga, y'all better start fighting the fuck back, bro. I'm telling y'all. Y'all out there throwing snowballs and shit. Bitch, throw a wrench. Throw a hammer. Like, I don't know. I'm at a point where it's like, how much more do y'all got to see to really, really step up? Like, go read the Second Amendment. I would suggest every American to read the full entirety of the Second Amendment. I promise you, you're going to be like, Because this is one of those situations where it's not even making sense. Like, they didn't unalive or they didn't murder a damn immigrant, illegal immigrant. They didn't murder a criminal. They didn't murder a murderer. It was an innocent American lady, American woman. And it was a white lady at that. We're beyond the waiting on somebody else. Just do it, bro. One thing.
You guys, those kids, those children that ICE took off of the school bus never made it to the detention center.
They have cocaine manufacturing plants, okay? And then they sell us the cocaine. We appreciate that very much, but...
Go away.
They have
Anyone else notice that ICE is targeting specifically areas that have low rates of gun ownership? I wonder if that has anything to do with anything. If you think about it, their job would be a lot more dangerous if they were actually going after gangsters and criminals. Who has guns? Who's willing to shoot figures of authority? Think about it. Anyway, have a day.
My God, that's so embarrassing. Is today your first day? Is it your first day? Did you forget your boots? I will admit, I am cold. I will admit it. Don't forget your boots. My God.
About 6 months ago, I noticed this weird machine in a vacant lot's parking lot near my apartment complexes. The apartment complexes that I live in are literally packed full of immigrants. I don't know if they're legal. I don't know if they're illegal. I'm not going to assume. But my neighborhood, despite Tennessee being very white, is not very white. And I noticed this weird machine, and it was like a box, and then it had a satellite on it, and then it had blinking red and blue lights on top of it. And I noticed it about 6 months ago, and I was like, what the fuck is that? And I assumed that it was just like some kind of security device. Well, then I'm on TikTok and I find out that it's a device that the Department of Homeland Security is using to collect data, cell phone data, traffic data. Basically, they're collecting the data to see where they should raid, when people are home, and what time they should raid their homes. My fucking neighborhood is gonna get raided. And I noticed that shit, and I knew that that's what it was. And bro, now that ICE is like full-fledged in Tennessee, you know what's gone? The data collector.
Well. Baby, we got to talk about the bullshit, Bobby. Crack a line, leave it alone, and go on home. The press secretary. Now, every day she has to get up there and bend over backwards and fucking sideways to defend the crazy-ass things that the orange man likes to say. But in her attempts to defend the mistake he made on that European stage where he kept calling Greenland Iceland, yeah, in her attempts to defend him, she has made him look stupid as shit. I'm serious, baby. She'd have been better off just saying, Daddy made a mistake and he was confused. He meant to say Greenland, but he accidentally said Iceland. That would have been a proper excuse. You could have just said, look, he's been at it for days, talking nonstop, flying all over the place, and he made a mistake. We'd all been okay with that. But oh no, in her attempts to defend him, I can't even. She said, Greenland's a block of ice. That's why he called it Iceland. Because it's a block of ice. Baby. He's so stupid that he's just going to call it Iceland because it's made of ice, baby. You know. We going to call Oregon Treeland because there's lots of trees there. We're going to start calling Saudi Arabia and Iraq and Qatar just the Sandland place. It's okay. He can call it Iceland today if he wants to. It's a block of ice. You know how Daddy is with his cognitive test. He knows it's a giraffe because it's got a long neck. It's a rhino because it's got a horn. It must be a leopard. It has spots. You know, Daddy really needs his visual identifiers. Like a kindergartner. I'm sorry. I'm taking way too much pleasure in this shit. Maybe it's the cough medicine. And speaking of cough medicine, can I have a word with the makers of cough medicine? Yeah, everybody who makes cough medicine, come to the motherfucking front. Why, in 2026, does cough medicine still taste like a shot of Jägermeister that has set in the desert and fucking fermented extra? Why can't it not taste good, baby? Why does my cough medicine have to taste like somebody threw up a shot of Jägermeister? Explain yourself. I know you can make it taste like bubble gum. The fuck is wrong with y'all? We're already trying to keep from throwing up, and then y'all give us medication that makes us want to fucking throw up. Get a hold of this situation right away. I know you're trying to take red dye out of shit today. How about add in some bubblegum flavor? Because it's gross. Well,
one Michigander to another, ICE is here. ICE is here. Bro, they're not just on the west side, how they were, saying on the media. They are in Sterling Heights. The motherfuckers have rolled through Detroit. They have stopped the marches, and they're saying that they're going to use chemical munitions on peaceful protesters in the city. I thought the city was not meant to be fucked with. That's all I'm going to say. If y'all ever want to prove a point, that's all I'm going to say. However, they're in Michigan. They're all over southeastern Michigan. They're all over this place. I was driving to work today, and I literally saw a car still going. Door just open. Door just ajar. There was nobody around. It's too fucking cold out here just be standing outside. Door just ajar. And I already know what that was. They just kidnapped another person. The Gestapo is here. The Yahtzees are here. The Gestapo is here. Michigan, we are not safe. We are not immune. And are we going to let the same shit happen that's happening in Minneapolis happen here? Gretchen, where the fuck are you? Big Gretch, we gave you buffs. Where the fuck are you? Jocelyn, the black guy who's the fucking mayor. The lieutenant governor. I don't even know your fucking name. I don't even know you weren't winning. Where the hell are y'all at? We literally, we already, shit, Alyssa. That's all I'm going to say. People in Michigan already know what you feel about her. But at least she's standing 10 toes down to some degree. And then to the Democrats out there in Washington, saying that you're going to offer ICE more funding to enact more training and better control and whatnot, that's not going to change them. You all have to go after the immunity. You all have to go after the corruption. You all have to go after the sheer hatred and racism, homophobia and sexism and depravity that these fucks feel in their soul. Women and children and men are being raped in ICE facilities. And we're too good for that here in Michigan, y'all. I know the boonies is kind of crazy, but we've come too far. We were a southern state of the north, but we've come too fucking far to be allowing this shit to happen. And if you're all scared of martial law or insurrection act or whatever the fuck, Trump could call that any fucking way while he's shitting his goddamn depends with his fucking kinkle swelled the fuck up. One Michiganer to win.
I'm not going to show my face on this video, but if you are in Dallas and you are too scared to leave your home, or you or your family are too scared to leave your home to just go get groceries because of the current situation, please send me a message. And on top of that, if you live in an apartment complex anywhere and the fire alarm randomly goes off, please wait a few minutes and then check downstairs, or if you can see outside your window, look outside your window, whatever the case is. But do not go outside, because what they are doing is they are going into apartment buildings, pulling the fire alarm so everybody has to evacuate, and then taking them whenever they're outside. So yeah, do what you will with that information. I'm not gonna show my
ICE just came to my neighborhood. I live in Pine Hills, Florida, and I keep getting notifications about ICE being in the neighborhood and going door to door where I live here. And I haven't really heard anyone share the details about any oddities or weird stuff they've been noticing since we've been informed that ICE is in Pine Hills, Florida. And I just want to share some of my observations, because everyone's saying that we're not really seeing them going to door, this, that, and the third, but I am just seeing things getting a little weird around here, especially with our Wi-Fi. My Wi-Fi has barely been working since this weekend. There was a huge ICE just came to my neighborhood.